Hello guys, X here. While watching a horror movie, the thought that keeps you going is probably, this isn't real, this is just a movie. And in most cases, you're correct. But what if I told you there were some movies based on true events? So join me today as I count down the top 10 horror movies and franchises inspired by true events. Let's go. Number 10. A Nightmare on Elm Street. This successful and famous movie franchise, which spans through 9 movies, including one crossover with the Friday the 13th franchise and a 2010 reboot, revolves around the fictional character Freddy Krueger. Krueger is a former child killer who stalks teenagers in their dreams and kills them using his knife-embedded fingers in order to get revenge on their parents who had burned him alive for his crimes. Although the story and its characters are entirely fictional, the first movie's writer and director, Wes Craven, says that he was inspired by an LA Times article about a group of Cambodian immigrants who all died in the midst of a nightmare. Number 9. Bram Stoker's Dracula. You'll probably know this one, the movie based on Bram Stoker's novel Dracula, about a bloodthirsty vampire Lord of Vlad Dracula who renounced God after the suicide of his beloved wife Elisabetta, and then swore to avenge her using the power of darkness. The real-life Dracula, however, wasn't a vampire, but he sure was bloodthirsty. Vlad III, Prince of Wallachia, was a merciless lord who executed his enemies by impaling them and displayed them as trophies, hence his nickname, the Impaler. On some accounts, he also, and yes, you guessed it, drank the blood of his defeated enemies as to celebrate his victories. Number 8. Fire in the Sky. More mentally disturbing than scary, Fire in the Sky is a movie depiction of the most famous alien abduction case ever, the abduction of logger Travis Walton, who was abducted by the creepy-looking visitors on November the 5th and lived to tell the tale of his abduction and the experiments the aliens had performed on him. He also recalls the look of the alien ship's interior. The local police suspected his colleagues had murdered him and hid the body, but after Travis's miraculous reappearance after 5 days of search, all 7 of them, Mike Rogers, Travis Walton, Ken Peterson, John Goulette, Steve Pierce, Alan Dallas, and Dwayne Smith, took a polygraph test and passed, proving they believed they had seen a UFO and that they didn't physically hurt Travis in any way. Number 7. Open Water. Stranded in the middle of the ocean? Check. Sharks? Check. This movie is everything you ever feared. In the movie, a couple that goes scuba diving is left behind in shark-infested waters and spend the majority of the movie battling them off. Needless to say, the sharks win. The core of the story is actually inspired by a similar real-life event. Tom and Eileen Lonergan disappeared near the Great Barrier Reef in January 1998 when a diving company left them behind by accident. 2 days later, the company realized their mistake and manned a search, but the Lonergans were never found. Number 6. Jaws. Oh man, the sharks just can't seem to stop. That's right, the original summer blockbuster about a deadly massive great white shark eating people on the beach was inspired by a true event, unlike its 3, can I say, disappointing sequels, which are the reason Jaws sit at 6th place. Jaws the book was inspired by the fisherman Frank Mundus, who caught a great white shark in Long Island in 1964, as well as the spate of shark attacks on the Jersey Shore in 1916. Number 5. The Hills Have Eyes. This classic franchise consists of a 1977 masterpiece of horror, the 2006 gory reboot, and its 2007 disappointing sequel, all of which are about cannibalistic radiation-mutated rednecks living in the desert and stalking unsuspecting people passing by to fill up their daily menu. Wes Craven wrote the script for this after getting inspired by the legend of Alexander Sawney Bean, the head of a 16th century clan of cave dwellers. They lived there for 25 years, chowing down on an estimated 1,000 people before they were found out and killed. Number 4. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This franchise, consisting of 7 movies and an upcoming 2016 film, revolves around the dysfunctional Sawyer family, deranged madmen who kill people for their meat business. The most notable member being the tall hulking brute Leatherface, who wields a titular chainsaw and walks faster than many American teenagers can run. Believe it or not, Leatherface is based on real-life killer and body snatcher Ed Gein. Gein exhumed corpses from local graves and fashioned trophies and keepsakes from their bones and skin. He confessed to killing 2 women in his lifetime, but was eventually found unfit for trial and was sent to a mental institution where he died. Number 3. The Amityville Horror. This horror flick, centering around a paranormal force terrorizing the Lutz family, was a major box office hit even though it failed to impress the critics. The movie sparked a franchise which to date spans to 12 movies and 13 waiting to be released. The movie itself was based on Jay Anson's best-selling novel of the same name, about the same family experiencing the same happenings after moving into a house where 6 people had been brutally murdered by a family member, Ronald DeFeo Jr., in Amityville, New York. The haunting became more aggressive with time and forced the Lutz family to move out. In 2010, the house was sold to a local for $950,000. Number 2. The Exorcism of Emily Rose. A 19-year-old girl named Emily Rose dies of self-inflicted wounds and malnutrition. A priest is arrested and sent to court for homicide by neglection. During the trial, we see flashbacks of events leading to and including the exorcism and all the brutality and fright that comes with it. The film was loosely based on the case of Annalise Michel, who died of malnutrition and lack of medical care following an exorcism. The priests involved, as well as her parents, were jailed and charged with negligent homicide. Number 1. The Conjuring. This movie was strongly based on the case of the Perron family, who after moving into a new house start experiencing paranormal and mysterious happenings. The happenings become more and more frequent and violent until the parents called in paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren to investigate the house and help them in any way possible. In the end, the Warrens decide that exorcism is the only option the family has left after Carolyn Perron, the mother, is possessed by the spirit of a witch. The film spawned a 2015 spin-off, Annabelle, which was a commercial success and yet a critical failure. But no worries, because a sequel is set to be released this year.